This is Lee Perry. I'm one of the 2 developers on MoonStrike, and I'm continuing my kind of series of videos showing matches against AI. This video is actually 2 matches against AI, because one is very short and one is should be short. But they're kind of cautionary tales against early rushes and kind of seeing how that plays out. So I'm going to play the Mecrons, which are very fast at creating ships, but their ships are actually really slow, so it's an interesting dynamic. So I'm going to dial my AI up to kind of medium hard, go through the level type randomization. This is an eccentric level, which means most of the planets are orbiting over here to the side. And then the 3 players have their homeworlds over on the left. Right off the bat, both of the enemies kind of moved in to attack this planet that's right next to my homeworld. And so they're pretty much going to end up clashing on each other. So I kind of just sit back and kind of let it happen. And then I move in and try to smash the victor, as it were. Which, as a lot of these end up playing out, is kind of, you know, now they have very few units. I've still got a pretty significant force. And now I'm just going to move in and not even worry about the majority of the resources on the level. I'm just going to go straight for the attack on their homeworlds. Of course, I'm going to encounter some of their ships on the way. The ships kind of cancel each other out. And you can really tell here that these ships, the Mecron ships that I'm playing, the yellow ships here, are slow movers, so they're pretty glacial. So they're finally reaching their destination down here. That actually represents a handful of ships, so the bigger ones usually count as 5, but I think he may be damaged, so I'm going to fast forward through the rest of this. It's pretty much just me sending my final forces over to smash that remaining guy. A couple of them get canceled out along the way, but for the most part, it ends as expected. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, so we got all these big planets off to the right here that never ended up seeing the game, so it's pretty interesting. Alright, so let's back-to-back a second round of MoonStrike. See how this goes. For this one, I'm going to be playing the Sected, which are super fast and super weak. Gonna see what field we're on. And this is a standard randomized map, so very random planets. Robots on one side and the Crux on the other. They spread very quickly. So I'm going to avoid trying to take the middle and get pinched. So I'm going to start trying to take over kind of to one side. So I got this big juicy planet over here. I'm going to jump on it really quickly. And here's where I see this big robot planet over here with not much defense on it. And I'm just like, it's too juicy. I'm like, I gotta get it. So I'm going to jump on this guy. It's super aggressive, super gambly. I'm like, hey, cool, yeah, that worked out. So I got this other one down here. But I had some bad timing and just flew my guys who were super weak right into the remaining enemy forces. So he took back his planet, and I'm sitting here with practically no ships. I've got 9, 10 ships, and the Mecron player has about 9 ships. So I kind of just smashed my car into each other, and then the green player in the middle there has 7 planets while both of us have 2. So this is basically what happens when you kind of early smash into somebody. Basically what you're doing is setting back another player and kind of playing kingmaker to the third party. So this green Crux player over here on the left is going to win this now. I mean, I can sit here and try to dig myself out of it. You know, I'll flail against these results for a little bit and try and take a planet or 2. But all this green territory over here, and I've got practically no ships. The other thing is I'm playing these the sected races, who basically don't have guns. When I encounter other ships, my ships get taken out if they encounter them, you know, in space. And the problem now is that there's enemy ships flying all over the place. So every time I'm going to be trying to fly somewhere, that. Like my ships get shot to hell as they're approaching things. So when there's a lot of traffic in the space, the insects are horrible. I mean, they're basically great at, you know, quick moments of opportunity to jump on vulnerable targets, but man, once things are heavily populated, they have some issues. So anyway, so those are two kind of early examples of what happens when players go at each other really hard right out the gate. You know, and that tactic kind of immediately occurs to a lot of people as, you know, maybe that's an exploit. What if I immediately try to take out one of the other players? But that's something that being 3-player matches kind of helps to prevent. I mean, it's like you can do it. You can immediately jump on somebody, but ultimately it's easy for that to go wrong and you end up suffering for it sometimes. So I'm going to take a note from the past game and go ahead and throw this into fast forward and kind of see how it goes. I mean, you can see I'm still trying to put up a fight and try to control some of this area on the right here, but you know, it's all pretty much futile because all these planets only have just, you know, a bare couple of ships on them versus the giant amount of ships that are the enemies have flying around at the time. So you know, this is kind of a doomed effort, but, you know, I want to see how it plays out and want to see how the AI is kind of handling it. Ironically, I think the other AI for the Necron, the yellow guys, the machines, did a pretty reasonable job recovering from the critical early kamikaze of me against them, so I was pretty pleased to see that actually, but it definitely makes the game kind of drag out when I'm kind of crippled. But that was fun anyway. I hope you enjoyed those two matches as kind of cautionary tales. Anyway, more videos soon. Thanks for watching.